Okay guys, we are on section 2 and we are talking about factorials and permutations. Now factorials, basically the definition for factorial is that it is a product, think about multiplication, of all the numbers below that certain number down to 1. So if I say, let's figure out the factorial for 6, I will usually write an exclamation point next to it. That exclamation point is basically telling you that this is a factorial. So basically what I'm going to be doing is what's after 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And what I'm going to do, remember this is multiplication, so I'm going to multiply all of these. And so 6 times 5 is 30. 30 times 4, remember the rules, I have to do these first. Okay, I'm going to start left and I'm going to work my way right. 30 times 4 is 120. And then I'm going to go 120 times 3 now, and that's going to be 360. And then I'm going to go 360 times 2. And that is going to give me the answer of 7. And that's going to give me the answer. And that's going to give me the answer of 720. Now, some of you are saying, I'm looking at the notes and it looks different than what you just did, Mr. B. Well, if we have the factorial of 6, and I go 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, that's different than what you did. In the notes, it says 6 times 6 minus 1, 5 minus 1, 4 minus 1. Well, if you think about it, 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Then 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, and then of course, we're only going down from that number down to 1. Okay? We're not going to use 0 because if we do use 0, the answer would be 0. Remember a factorial, I'm going to start with that number that they want me to figure out. I know it's a factorial because of the exclamation point. So I'm going to do 2 times 1, and that is 2. Okay, another example. Okay, the factorial of 4. So we're going to do 4, 3, 2, 1. Multiply these. 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Times 1 is 24. Okay, now there's 2 more in the notes that I'd like you to kind of think through and look at. I'm going to stop there for the examples though. Hopefully that explains it well. Now we're going to go to permutations. Permutations basically describe a way of arranging a certain number out of a certain number of objects. So we're going to say we're going to arrange X out of Y. So this could be focusing on 2 out of 5. So remember, for permutation, we're focusing on a number that is part of or out of, it's out of Y, out of a total number. So the focus here is X is less than or equal to Y. So this number X is smaller. So if I have 5 fruit, 2 of them are oranges, so 2 out of the 5, okay? It's out of that larger group. So permutations involve order, and the number of permutations of a certain number of different objects would be identified as n. Okay, here we started with the xy, but usually when we do the formula, okay, they're going to be using n. So what we're going to have is, for the permutations, for the formula, we're going to write P, and then we're going to have N and N. Now don't flip out yet. This is just another name for saying a factorial. So let's take a look at this. If those N's are the same, let's say they're both 7, then basically the factorial is 7. And then we're going to go ahead and do 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to multiply all those. Okay? So that's the first type of permutation that we're going to be dealing with. That same number in front, it's just another way of saying the factorial of 5. Now that's more of a little foundation for you. Okay? If I do this factorial of 5, let's see if you guys can do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I multiply. Okay, this is 20. 20 times 3. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 3 is 60. 60 times 2 is 120. So the factorial of 5 is 120. Okay, so now if the numbers are different, So we're going back to what we said before. A certain number out of another amount. We said like 4 maybe apples or 4 oranges out of a total number of. Okay, so we're going to go back to what we originally started with permutations, the total amount. So we're going to actually identify N and R. So if N is that number, remember before it was a total of maybe 7 fruit, okay, and all 7 are oranges, okay? N and N would be the same. But in this case here, we have N and we have R. N is referring to the total amount, the different objects taken, and R would be a lower amount. So let's do an example. If I have a total of 9 different pictures, so I have a total of 9, R will equal 9. I want to figure out how many ways I can hang 4 pictures in a line on the wall. So 4 is out of that 9. I only want to figure out 4. So this is your This is your permutation. I want to figure out how many ways I can hang 4 out of those 9 pictures on the wall. I want to figure out how many ways I can hang 4 out of the 9 pictures on the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up, and basically what I'm going to do, here is my total. Okay, that's my factorial. See, I'm using what I just learned about the factorial. And then down here, I'm going to go ahead and do 9 minus 4, okay, factorial. So this is pretty easy if you think about it. What's 9 minus 4? 5. So now I have to go ahead and do the factorial for 9 and 5. So check this out. So the top one is factorial of 9. So 9 times 8, 7, 6, 5. But wait, because down here was 9 minus 4, and I wanted the factorial of 5, I'm going to go 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, right? Now, if I keep going with this 4, 3, 2, 1, basically these can cancel out. So what am I left with? I'm left with this, 9 times 8 times 7 times 6. And that would yield 3,024 different ways I can hang 4 pictures on a line out of 9 different pictures. Okay, that's using the permutation and factorial rule. Okay, so let's do a little more practice on this. We have a total of 6 practice problems. You can do these on your own, but I'm going to do a couple of them with you. If we go ahead and look at practice number 1, factorial of 2, that's real easy. It's just 2 times 1 equals 2. Okay? The second one, factorial of 4, is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and that's going to give me 24. This is 12 times 2 equals 24. Practice 3, factorial of 6 is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And basically, that's going to yield, if we multiply all these together, okay, this is 30. 30 times 4 is 120. 120 times 3 is 360. And 360 times 2 is 720. Okay, hopefully that's pretty easy. Hopefully that makes sense. Now let's get to the other ones here. Okay, the permutations, 3 and 3. What did we say that is? We said that's the same thing as saying 3 factorial. So then we go ahead and that's 3 times 2 times 1, right? And that's going to yield 6. 3 times 2 is 6. And then times 1 is the same number. But 5 and 6 now is a little more difficult. This is what we just ended with. Now remember, this is the larger number, this is the smaller number, okay? So this is going to be the total, okay? This is how many ways, okay? So if I have a total of 2, okay? I'm going to put the factorial of 5 on top. 5 minus 2 factorial at the bottom. Okay? So the total, the larger number, is going to go on top. That total amount is going to go on top. Okay? So 5 minus 2, I'm going to subtract. So you have to remember that step. That gives me 3 factorial. Now I go ahead and separate them all out. So 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And this one would be 3 times 2 times 1. 3 times 2 times 1 cancel. And because, remember, because they're canceling, what does this turn into? This just turns into a 1, right? So we have 5 times 4 times 3 over 1. Okay, so that would be a whole number. So this is 20 times 3, and that's 60. Okay. Oh, I made a mistake. Scratch that. So that would give me 5 times 4 over 1, and that makes it a whole number, so that's just 5 times 4, and that is 20, because the 3, 2, 1 cancel out. And let's do the last one together, permutation 7 and 3. 7 factorial is on top, 7 minus 3 factorial is at the bottom. 7 minus 3 is 4. Then I go ahead and do the factorial. Remember, 3, 2, 1. Any 4, 3, 2, 1 will cancel. So we have 7, 5, and 6. So we have 7, 6, and 5. 4, 3, 2, 1 cancel. 4, 3, 2, 1 cancel. This just makes a 1 below, so that makes it a whole number. So now I'm dealing with 7 times 6 times 5. 7 times 6 is 42. 42 times 5. And 42 times 5 is 210. There you go.